Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this public meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And I'd like to introduce Andrew Piasecki, currently serving as the commander of Post 411 in Jessup in Lackawanna County. Served 5 years from 1970 to 1975 and retired as a sergeant in the Army, and he currently lives in Archibald. Thank you for being here, and he'll lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last commissioners meeting. Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the minutes have been approved. We have a proclamation here that we would like to present. We have Karen Saunders, who's the president of the Northeast Regional Cancer Institute. Karen, if you'd like to come up. She's going to say a few words after I read the proclamation into the record. Whereas colon and rectal cancers are one of the most frequently diagnosed cancers in northeastern Pennsylvania, with incidence and mortality rates in some areas as much as 14% and 17% higher than the U.S. average. About 75% of new cases of colon and rectal cancer occur in patients of average risk, and approximately 516 new cases are diagnosed. Nearly 200 patients die from colon cancer each year in the counties of Lackawanna, Luzerne, Monroe, Pike, Susquehanna, Wayne, and Wyoming combined. And whereas the Northeast Regional Cancer Institute has been easing the burden of cancer in Northeast Pennsylvania for over 30 years through community and patient services, hospital and practice support services, and cancer surveillance programs specifically designed to meet the unique needs of our region. And whereas on Thursday, March 27, 2025, the Northeast Regional Cancer Institute will sponsor the 21st annual Casual Day. And that CASUAL stands for Colon Cancer Awareness Saves Unlimited Adult Lives. Whereas Casual Day was established by the family of Helen Phillips, who fought a courageous battle against colon cancer and died in the summer of 2002. Now therefore, we, Bill Gaughan and Chris Chermak, Commissioners of the County of Lackawanna, Pennsylvania, do hereby recognize March as Colorectal Cancer Month and urge residents to be screened for early detection of colon cancer and participate with the Northeast Regional Cancer Institute in its colon cancer awareness efforts, and proclaim March 27, 2025 as Casual Day in Lackawanna County. And I'll now turn it over to Karen.
Thank you very much,
Thank
not
you.
only for this public acknowledgement of the importance of this event, but also for your participation. I know we got an order. Participants participate with Casual Day by buying specially designed shirts like the one I have on, as well as hats and socks. And this allows us to have a casual conversation about the importance of knowing your family history and the importance of early detection and screening. So I just wanted to thank you for your participation. The impact of this event for the Northeast Regional Cancer Institute is that while rates stay high, both incidence and mortality, they have come down significantly in the 21 years that we've been doing this campaign. The impact also is through our community-based screening navigation program, where over 2,800 individuals have received their colon cancer screenings through this program. So thank you very much for acknowledging this.
Thank you. And if you'd like to come forward, we'll take a picture with the proclamation.
Thank you. Good, thanks. Good. Good. Thank you.
Now is the opportunity for the public to address the board on agenda items only. Would anyone like to discuss the agenda items? Okay. Seeing that there is no one, we'll move into the, oh, I'm sorry, come forward, sir. Sure.
Good morning. My name is Dan Naylor. I'm a resident of Lackawanna County up in Benton Township. My family's owned a dairy farm up there for 80 years. And I rise this morning in support of Commissioner Chermak's statements that he made today in the paper.
Oh,
that-
sir, excuse me, I'm sorry. This is only on agenda items, but you'll
Okay,
have
let me just ask one question. Is there, on the payables today, I would be speaking to an agenda if there's any bills that are pertaining to the litigation of the commissioner appointment.
Not that I'm aware of, it just started, so.
Okay, so that was the reason that I
Oh, okay, I
spoke
apologize.
of that
Okay.
matter. So
Okay.
if that's not being discussed today at all, there's no bills that would be paid towards the
Don, do you want to
litigation.
address that?
There's no bills that have been approved at this point for litigation with regard to that, no.
Are there bills that are supposed to be, or in other words, listed here? I mean, I could speak to them if they're listed as payables today.
No, they're not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board on agenda items only? Okay. Resolution 25-0080.
This is approving the current payables. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve the following payables. Lackawanna County's General Fund. Number is 383-044-383-670 inclusive, totaling $3,032,987.08. The county's electronic fund transfers, including all payroll accounts, totaling $7,439,231.72. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19, 2025. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution. Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0069.
This is entering into an agricultural conservation easement. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby enter into separate agreements acting through its County Agricultural Land Preservation Board for the sale and purchase of agricultural conservation easements for 20.47 acres of Brewer No. 2 Farm in Greenfield Township and 26.69 acres of the Rosengrant No. 1 Farm in Benton Township. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Farmland Preservation Program Administrator, Mr. Eric Johnson.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. As was said, we have two easements that are being put before the board today. Both of these easements are being funded in their entirety by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That money is funneled into Lackawanna County and administered by our program here in Lackawanna County. This is the 86th and 87th easements we've purchased in Lackawanna County since 1994, totaling a little over 6,600 acres of farmland that's been protected in Lackawanna County. So if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer them, but I would urge your approval of these.
Thank you. Any questions?
It's a very important program, and it's an excellent program, so
Thank you.
all good.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second, on the question. On the question, thank you for coming this morning. As was stated, the goal of this program, the Farmland Preservation Program, is to protect and preserve viable agricultural land in Lackawanna County through perpetual conservation easements. By preserving this farmland, we are ensuring that agricultural land is not lost to development or urban sprawl. Local food security is protected, while at the same time we're promoting green space and open space in the county, and this program is absolutely essential to our county, and I thank you for all the efforts that you've made towards it.
Thank you.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Thank you. Resolution 25-0070.
This is ratifying the Community Development Block Grant Program modifications and revisions. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby ratify the submissions of modifications and revisions of the Community Development Block Grant Program to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the federal fiscal years 2020, 2021, and 2022, as per attached. Be it further resolved that the county has been complied with the terms of Pennsylvania Act 179 and has met all citizen participation requirements in connection with the above-mentioned modifications. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Economic Development Director, Ms. Krista Magnotta.
Good morning. I'm asking for the ratification of modifications and revisions for 5 community development block grant projects in Dixon City, Dunmore, Oliphant, Scott Township, and Taylor. The legislation reallocates CDBG funding initially approved for various projects to alternative projects better aligned with current community needs and infrastructure priorities. These projects must be completed by September 25th of 2025, and this is no cost to the county. It's completely covered by a community development block grant funding.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Second, on the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0071.
This is a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County regarding the eligibility under LRTA for property tax exemption for a property located in the city of Scranton. Whereas the General Assembly of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has enacted legislation known as the Local Economic Revitalization Tax Assistance Act, which authorizes local taxing authorities to provide for tax exemption for certain deteriorated residential, commercial, and other business properties. And whereas 121 Penn Avenue Partners, LLC, has requested the County of Lackawanna to grant a tax exemption for certain improvements to be constructed on the property owned and located at 121, 123 Penn Avenue in the city of Scranton and identified as PIN number 15626020019. Whereas pursuant to LRTA, the city of Scranton adopted resolution number 50 on December 3rd, 2018, and held meetings to define the boundary of the area within the city of Scranton in accordance with the procedure set forth under the Act and in Exhibit A. Whereas the Scranton School District adopted a resolution on December 19th, 2018, granting tax exemption to the defined area identified by the city of Scranton as the whole city of Scranton. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County, acting pursuant to LRTA and the Act, likewise desire to provide the properties described here in Exhibit A with a tax exemption as set forth pursuant to LRTA, the following PIN number, 15626020019, approximately 36 by 177 in measurement in the city of Scranton, is hereby specifically designated as being a deteriorated area and is eligible to participate in this tax exemption program, so long as it meets the prerequisites for the program as hereinafter described. The following real estate tax exemption schedule shall commence January 1st of the tax year immediately following the year in which the city of Scranton issues an occupancy permit on the property owned by 121 Penn Avenue Partners, LLC, located at 121, 123 Penn Avenue in the city of Scranton. The County of Lackawanna, as a result of the increase in this tax assessment for the property attributed to the cost future improvements constructed thereon, exempts as the following: for 10 years, of which the newly constructed improvement would otherwise be taxable, 100% of the eligible assessment shall be exempt. The exemption from taxes granted under this resolution shall be upon the newly constructed improvement on the deteriorating property, and shall not terminate upon the sale or exchange of the property, but shall continue for the full time originally granted. This resolution shall be in full force and effect upon adoption. Adopted at regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19th, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to answer any questions on that as our Homestead Farmstead Coordinator, Mrs. Val Calpin. Also in attendance today is the developer of 121, 123 Penn Avenue, Mr. Alex Molfettis.
As you know, the City of Scranton and Lackawanna County entered into a LRTA agreement in 2019. Our portion ended in 2024, and we continue to move forward on a case-by-case basis, offering LRTA to certain developers within the city. This project is going to continue the revitalization of Penn Avenue, taking a previously vacant building and converting it into apartments and storefronts. The owner will continue to pay his assessed tax value of $16,000 plus for the next 10 years. So this actually costs the City of Scranton and Lackawanna County nothing, other than a deferment of newly acquired tax revenue that will be assessed on the building. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Morning, Commissioners. Just want to thank you for the opportunity and consideration. We've been able to bring a whole host of different residents to the county, which is nice. Some were residents of the surrounding areas. Some were completely out of state, taking jobs within the city of Scranton and the county. So it's a wonderful opportunity to revitalize an old bingo hall to something more than, you know, big game room, I guess. So
And thank you very much for
Thank you.
all the work that you've done. Obviously, we travel the 100 block of Penn Avenue every day since it's walk right out of this building.
Yeah.
And that really is the last block that needs to be revitalized.
Yeah, almost
So,
there.
yeah, the fact that you're putting your time and effort and money into this is very helpful, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you for the time.
With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0072.
Entering into a state homeland security grant agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby enter into a state homeland security grant program agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Emergency Management and the Northeast Pennsylvania Regional Counterterrorism Task Force for the fiscal year 24 Homeland Security Grant in the amount of $806,419. And in agreement will remain in effect until December 29th, 2027. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19th, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Emergency Management Director, Mr. Tom Taylor.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This is an annual agreement with the Northeast PA Counterterrorism Task Force. The grant monies that are awarded to the task force are shared with the other 9 counties within the organization. The grant monies help support EMAs, the SWAT teams, the bomb squads, and the urban search and rescue teams within the Northeast with the purchase of much needed equipment and supplies.
Any questions for Mr. Taylor? Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0073.
It's approving the Hazardous Materials Response Fund Grant. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve the submission of the 2025-2026 Hazardous Materials Response Fund Grant for the Department of Emergency Management, adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19th, 2025. Mr. Chairman, once again, here is Director Taylor.
Thank you.
This is also an annual grant. This helps support the county's hazardous materials safety program. This is a no cost to the county grant. This grant does help us with the purchase of equipment and supplies to mitigate hazardous materials responses in the county.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0074.
This is approving the Radiological Emergency Response Grant. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve the submission of the Radiological Emergency Response Fund Grant 2025 through 2026 with the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency by the Lackawanna County Department of Emergency Management, adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19th, 2025. Once again, Mr. Chairman, here's Director Taylor.
This is also an annual grant. Again, Lackawanna County is a support county for the Susquehanna Steam Electric Station, Talon Energy, also known as the Berwick Power Plant. Lackawanna County EMA assists with evacuees that may travel to our county for shelter in the event of an emergency. EMA, the Red Cross, and the county's volunteer decon team operate a radiological monitoring station and a reception center that are pre-planned at sites throughout the county. So this grant helps to support with the equipment and supplies needed to operate that Mon-Decon Center.
Thank you very much. Any questions? All those in favor, or I'm sorry, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion. Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Resolution 25-0075.
It's approving the Emergency Management Performance Grant Agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby approve and authorize the grant submission by the Lackawanna County Emergency Management to the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for the fiscal year 2025 Emergency Management Performance Grant Agreement, adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19th, 2025. Finally, here once again is Director Taylor.
Okay, Commissioners, this is also an annual grant. This grant assists the county with covering up to 50% of the emergency management staff salary and benefits.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay. We'll entertain a motion to approve. Second, on the question. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Thank you. Resolution 25-0076.
This is entering into an agreement with Otis Elevator. Be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County is hereby entering into a one-year agreement with Otis Elevator for the county prison at a cost of $5,054. Adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Lackawanna County held on March 19, 2025. Mr. Chairman, here to speak upon that is our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Dave Bolzoni.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'm here on behalf of the prison. So as you're aware from the presentation from Mr. Mark Dewar at the last meeting, the renewals for elevator maintenance are due, and at this point, the elevator maintenance contract with Otis for the prison is subject to renewal for the period beginning March 1st of this year through February 28th of next year. It represents a 3% cost increase from prior year. The contract cost is $5,054.28. As you're also aware from Mr. Dewar's explanation last time, these contracts are relatively exclusive, mainly because the controls in the elevator are Otis controls. Makes it difficult for anybody else to really work on them. So, you know, that being said, I would certainly recommend approval. The cost is reasonable enough for the maintenance that's provided.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Bolzoni? Okay, we'll entertain a motion to approve. Second, on the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Thank you. Next up, I'll entertain a motion to award the Main Street resurfacing project in Blakely Borough and Archibald Borough to the lowest, most responsible bidder, Penzi Supply Incorporated, 300 Armstrong Road, Pittston, Pennsylvania, 18640, with a total bid of $1,337,039.76. Do I have a motion? Motion. Second. On the question, we have our county engineer, Frank Suma, and our director of roads and bridges, Larry Lukasik, to explain.
Thanks. Yes, this motion is to award the construction contract for the Main Street resurfacing project. The project will include paving from the Keystone Ave intersection in Blakely to the Kennedy Drive intersection in Archibald. The project will also include replacement of the retaining wall supporting the road in the vicinity of the Hill Street intersection in Blakely. The paved condition is poor, with cracking and rutting throughout the corridor, and the retaining wall supporting Main Street in the vicinity of Hill Street intersection is cracked, rotating, and failing. We conducted a public bid. 3 bids were received for the project, and the lowest qualified bidder was Penzi Supply at a price of $1,337,039.76, and our recommendation is to award the construction contract to Penzi.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Well, not a question, but I think the residents up in Blakely is, they're gonna wanna give you guys a parade when this is done. So this has been a long time coming, and so I can't wait to see it finished.
Well, it's gonna take a little bit, because this section here, we have to wait for the gas company to replace some unprotected steel gas main down in front of Pop-Pop's Gas Market. They have roughly about 2 blocks they have to do, so even though the project's gonna be awarded, it's gonna be a little bit before it starts, because we have to wait for the gas company. So our anticipated start time is probably somewhere in late June, early July.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen. On the question, as Commissioner Chermak noted, this project is long overdue, and I know firsthand how much it means to the residents and the businesses of Blakely and Archibald. While I campaigned for this office nearly 2 years ago, I heard time and time again about the poor condition of this road and the frustration that it caused, and of course, we all use the road quite frequently. We made a commitment to the people of Blakely and Archibald that it would be addressed, and we're proud today to deliver on that promise. Investing in infrastructure, as you'll see with this resolution and the next resolution, isn't just about fixing roads. It's about ensuring safe travel, supporting local businesses, and improving the quality of life for our residents. Roads like this one are the backbone of our communities, and maintaining them is critical to keep this county moving in the right direction. This project represents our commitment to making smart investments that benefit every single resident of Lackawanna County. We appreciate the patience of the residents in this area, and will continue to ensure that our roads and our infrastructure receive the attention that they deserve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion has been approved. Next up, I'll entertain a motion to award the Gordon Avenue Drainage Project in Carbondale Township and Carbondale City to the lowest, most responsible bidder, Waco Incorporated, 198 O'Connell Road, Waymart, Pennsylvania, 18472, with a total bid of $328,463.70.
Motion.
It's been a motion and a second. On the question again to speak on this is Frank Suma and Larry Lukasik. Gentlemen?
As mentioned, this motion is to award the construction contract for the Gordon Avenue drainage improvements in Carbondale Township and Carbondale City. In 2026, PennDOT is undertaking a paving project through this quarter on behalf of Lackawanna County. The paved condition is poor with significant cracking and rutting throughout. However, PennDOT's project will not include any drainage improvements for the site. There's some poor drainage conditions that should be fixed, and this contract will fix the drainage improvements in advance of the paved project for next year. A public bid was conducted. 8 bids were received for this contract, with the lowest qualified bidder being Waco at a price of $328,463.70, and our recommendation is to award the contract to Waco.
Okay. Any questions? Just a comment similar to my last comments on Main Street. This has been something that was also brought up as I campaigned constantly over and over again. In fact, when we were up in Carbondale at the commissioners meeting last year, they brought it up there, several residents. So
Yeah.
thank you for delivering again on this project. This is huge for this entire area up there and much needed. So thank you.
Thank you.
And with this, Commissioners, we're working with the city of Carbondale. Carbondale has some bad sewer up on the upper end by Pike Street. Carbondale's already done one phase of replacing the sewer before the road is paved. They're supposed to have the second phase done before next spring, before we pave this road. So we're working with them and the utility companies for some future development that's planned up there too, to get it all done before we pave the road.
Okay. And would you like to be in a convertible when you go through the parade in Carbondale? Okay, no. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion has been approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is the, excuse me, the opportunity for the public to address the board. Just make sure you state your name for the record.
Good morning, Ralph D. Antidormi, Madison Township, right next to the Wayne County line. We got 36 communities there, but I don't know what you're gonna do for Madison Township, okay? Anyway, I come from a large family there, and like the Indian said, talk much, but I don't know what you're doing. Since Mr. O'Malley got this Globe store, everything went the other way and cost us too much money, right? Bad move. 33% tax. Is there a code or a law or something where you can't go that high raising the county taxes? Isn't there something in the code book or something I heard about? I think we went a little bit too far. When Mr. Chermak said 6%, you give us a break. Nobody's giving us a break. I was on a school board up there, and I would never vote to raise the taxes, because if you shut the back door, you can run the store. Okay? Let me keep going here. I'm on a fixed income. No pension, no savings. Gonna be 86 years old. Work day and night. Like my father before me that came from First World War, all shot up and worked in the mines and Purple Heart. Raised a big family. The biggest plus we had was the plumbing inside now. You know, years ago we didn't have it on the farm. Farm with the horses. And I don't think anybody who was running Lackawanna County ever knew where the end of the county was. Because we never got nothing up there, okay? And I always blame the last guy, you know, if it snows too much, you blame the weatherman. I don't know where we're going. Where are we going with this here 33%? Where are we going in the future? How is it going to come out? Besides putting the senior citizens in their grave. I built a house, raised a family like my father before me. Not 8 hours a day, work day and night. What I got, I own with the hands there. I got a bunch of brothers in the service, Marines, Army, combat, and everything else. Everybody fought. You guys raise our county taxes. What do you give me up there? You give me a street light? You give me nothing. I say listen to Mr. Chermak. He's had a good idea. It'll keep it down a little bit, right? And as far as Mr. Gaughan there, you know, I don't know if you're too popular after this 36% raise, and then your buddy backs out. I had a lot of respect for him, but I don't respect it now. Not for that deal. You know, it sounds like your way or the highway as far as getting somebody in here. But it's still Lackawanna County. It's still, I have a right to get on that board. Give me the job. Maybe you need some farmer and truck driver from the back end of the county to help you run, because maybe you got too much political nepotism down here. Okay, going on, moving on. Maybe you pay outsiders. We've got too many pet products, maybe. You know, things going on, okay? And you paid a lady up there in Madisonville, you guys did, when you got on the board, $86,000 a year for the planning commission to cause this thing that every community got to be in. But Madison Township, it's all it is messing up a way of life. We don't have the room there for this and that and everything else. We're stuck between 380 and 84, right? And that planning commission, me and my brothers and a few other guys, we started that planning commission, it cost nothing. Now we got zoning because, the next township has zoning, so we gotta have, we had bylaws in it, we didn't need that, okay? Why do you need somebody else to pay somebody else to run your house? You can't run it yourself? I mean, this is all going blaming the last guy, blaming somebody else, okay? Moving on. I don't know what to tell you, but I think the most profitable thing I ever got was the plumbing's inside. You don't have to go up there on the top of the hill, the back house with my brothers in the snow. You did your chores every day and then you walked to school. You young guys know what it's all about life. If you don't know where you came from or don't know history, there's something wrong. But I think down here in Scranton there, Lackawanna County spreads all the way up to the end down there, right? But it seems like I'm not prejudiced and I'm not picking on nobody, but you know what? It seems like we got an Irish brigade down here with young guys, you know, want to get there. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm American,
you very much.
but thanks. Have a nice day. Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board? Ma'am?
Hi, Michelle Tierney, Glenburn Township. I'm here to represent all of the elected public servants. I'm an Abington Heights School Board Director who's in my 20th year, my 5th term. I'm here to ask questions as to how we are here with the opportunity. You both are elected officials. You have an opportunity from the community that elected you here to have someone else sit in your seat. I have had the opportunity to have a transparent opportunity to appoint a school board director quite often. It is very transparent. It is very thoughtful. It is an opportunity for people to put their foot forward to help the community. There's interviews, there's conversation, there's opportunity that you've been elected for your community, for their trust in you to bring in a person to support the community. I have a few questions. How or why are we here with lawsuits? And we're the people. We elect you. We trust you. I've been elected. People trust my team and our judgment. I am so disappointed. I'm going to be transparent here. I put a letter of interest in to continue to support and be a servant of Lackawanna County. I don't even know if they received my letter of interest. I have served my community for 20 years. I know many people have served their communities for 20 years that have been entrusted. I've been elected. I really hope that this county can select a person that the people want and that they've trusted you to do it. I know both of you personally. The only information I have is reading the newspaper, and it does not sit well with Lackawanna County. We should not be here. I commend both of you for your service, and I continue to trust both of you to feel how you can support our community. Party affiliation should not matter. Sitting on a school board affords opportunity to be non-political. I don't even know the political party of any of my teammates. We are there to support the students in the education of Abington Heights. So please, Lackawanna County, let's put Lackawanna County on the map the right way. And please appoint someone who you believe will serve the community as you both are doing correctly now, because you both have been elected here. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
Dan Naylor from Benton Township, a taxpayer here. Family's been taxpayers for 80 years. And I rise in support of what Commissioner Chermak said in the paper today of not allowing tax dollars, Lackawanna County tax dollars, to be paid for a lawsuit as concerning the appointment of a commissioner. The idea that the process when Bruce Smolacombe was appointed isn't good enough now, when Corey O'Brien's replacement was selected, is not good enough now, and now we have to have spend legal dollars is not right. And I would appall that say to you that the county solicitor should not even be involved in filing such a lawsuit, because that's time and that's taxpayer dollars that we are paying and should not be used in that manner. It's a personal matter where someone's having a temper tantrum because they're not getting their way. So therefore, I ask that you withdraw that and not allow the tax dollars to be spent in that manner.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. My name is Larry Sperano. I'm a taxpayer in Lackawanna County and an independent journalist. Now, Commissioner Gaughan, since you refused to do a one-on-one, face-to-face interview with me for some reason which you didn't specify, I'll ask my questions from the podium, and hopefully, as you always say at the end of these meetings, you'll be answering the questions later. I hope you'll do so.
Sure.
My first question is, whose authority is it to launch a challenge of how the commissioner, the missing commissioner, is replaced? As far as I know, there was no commission vote on it. Now, can the solicitor act without direction on his own to launch that lawsuit that you're involved in? Can you act on your own? Whose authority is it? And what gives you the authority to take that action if there was no commission vote? Also, a larger question, which you haven't addressed, is the unfairness of allowing a judge or a party to pick out the three candidates from which one is selected for a remaining 3-year term. How about the voters of Lackawanna County? If the term goes more than a year unexpired, I think there should be a special election so the voters could pick the commissioner. That's democracy. Next question. You have said repeatedly that the reassessment would correct inequities. They would correct anything that's unfairly taxed or undertaxed now. The reassessment would correct that. You've told me that on tape repeatedly, along with the other commissioner. Well, there's big industrial properties and commercial properties that are undervalued. That's a fact. You can look it up yourself. And I don't see anything. We've been attending the presentations by the reassessors about how reassessment is going to work, and they've given no indication that those huge industrial commercial properties are going to be correctly taxed. So that is something that you should look into, Commissioner Gaughan. And also, my last question is, why are these meetings being held at 10 a.m. when few people could get here? Other governing bodies meet in the early evening where people are more likely to be available to turn out. 10 in the morning, you have to go downtown, park here wherever you can. Yeah, is this a move to prevent the public from participating? I hope not. And once again, my closing remark, I hope you will address my questions as you say you do at the end of the meeting. We've been to other meetings where you've promised that and you haven't answered the questions that we presented.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board?
Yes, good morning. My name is Sharon Soltis-Sperano, and I'm coming here today to discuss the reassessment. Now, the reassessment that's going on is required.
Excuse me, gentlemen, if you can take it outside if you're going to talk. Thank you. Go ahead.
The reassessment that's going on is required underneath the Pennsylvania State Constitution to, by law, establish law, be fair, equitable, and transparent. I'm letting you know today, putting everyone on record here, that it is not fair, equitable, and transparent. The letters that we're going to be getting are, the only thing that we are going to have is our own letters of our new evaluation. And we are not going to be able to have access to an online, be able to look up online countywide of how that new assessment is, valuation is put up from Tyler Tech. We are not allowed to come in to the assessor's office and ask and review any kind of information there. That is against the state law. I've checked with Monroe County and Beaver County in Pennsylvania. They did reassessments in 20 and 23. Everything was put online in the one so people could review, because the appeal has to be filed by August 1st. Tobin told us at these 3 meetings I attended that there's a state law that says you cannot put that information out publicly. He did not cite it, and Monroe County and Beaver County know no such law. They were never challenged that they violated a law. We are not given the information as fair, equitable, and transparent to file proper appeals. So that means our taxpayers are denied the ability to have the information to file an appeal that would actually have any standing, because you have nothing to base it on. Now, that is a big deal. Mr. Tobin said that if this was not fair, equitable, and transparent, he would resign. I'm asking for his resignation today. And I expect you, Mr. Gaughan, since you were instrumental in hiring this Tyler Tech, and by the way,
no,
Tyler Tech was also involved in the Beaver and the Monroe County assessments. So they need to be held accountable on why they are keeping that loop of denying our citizens access to that vital information to prepare an appeal. So that is something that I am putting on the table right now to bring to your attention. You're free to call Beaver County, you're free to call Monroe County. Double check my information. But as I stand here today, I'm telling you right now, your reassessment is dead in the water. It is not transparent. I can prove it just with the information I just gave you. And how do you expect people to file an approval when all they have is their own paperwork? denied any other comparison to the entire county. It is against the state constitution. So all of this money, $5.2 million, is useless. Now, why would this be done? My opinion is it was done to protect the other people, big industry, from having to show how they have been undertaxed all along, why we're in the mess we're in, and to continue that so people cannot see what those reassessment values would have been. So that is denied any transparency. That is a big issue. It's a big deal. And you did promise us that we were going to have all of this, the reassessment would affect the inequities. And I'm going to check with you again because I just told you exactly where to contact and find out how they did it. So this 2020, 2023, and now here we are in 2025. Why is Lackawanna County denied access to these reassessment values coming out of Tyler Tech? And I also want Tyler Tech to give us an answer why they're certified and they're going along with this non-transparency in Lackawanna County. So as far as I'm concerned, right now I'm telling you, you are already at non-transparency. You are already violating the state constitution. That's all I have to say right now. And I do expect Assessor Pat Tobin to tender his resignation. Thank you.
Oh, dear God. Okay, would anyone else like to address the board? Commissioners, other business? Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't see you in the back. Go ahead.
Raymond Kempa from Oak Forge, just an overburdened taxpayer, just trying to get a better handle on what's happening here. The last 2 years, my taxes went up 40% because we got that 6% one before. So, like, my taxes are up $42 in 2 years. Like, that's from $1,500 to $22. That's a huge jump, huge jump. Everybody understands that. So I looked at that PFM report that came out, and it seems like it's going to continue on because they say once reassessment's complete, the county should plan to make regular incremental increases to its taxes. I mean, that's unbelievable. I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to stop, but it's unbelievable. But I just want to, do I understand the situation correctly? We got a $167 million budget and we're $27 million deficit? That where we're at now?
There was last year, it started off at roughly 37 million and we got it down to roughly
So we're at
27
million.
Correct.
So I'd say, well, what's PFM going to say we're going to do about it? So they said the first thing they want to do is get a chief financial officer position established. And it says the guy's going to improve daily financial processes such as payroll, bank account reconciliation, and accounts payable. I got to believe we're doing that now, aren't we?
Yeah, do you want me to answer that now or do you want me to wait till the end?
No, because I'm just trying to get an understanding of like what's happening here. I mean, I'm not here to really go crazy on you, but just to get a feel for what's happening so I can understand it. Okay. And then that PGFN report, it found out how the county has been operating. I mean, they said the county needs to improve how it executes interfund transfers. It said they uncovered transfers that recorded in one book and without money actually moving, and vice versa. Some transfers occurs on a timely basis, others don't. Then they said they identified areas where revenues have been historically overstated and expenditures missed. Like, if that's been happening, that's where we got here. In terms of the future expenses, I mean, that pension expense alone, $11 million a year. I mean, I don't know where this money's going to come from, but like the gentleman said, the elderly people in this county are going to get hammered. So I don't know. Everything in there was about increases. But I just think about, well, where could we decrease expenses? I looked around and I look at Islesworth Park. That's like 250 acres adjacent to Casey Highway. That's got to go. If you get rid of that, it's got to be a huge developmental problem. Some property development, of housing development would go in there. You'd get rid of it as an expense. You'd get property revenue, tax revenue as an income. The next one is Merle-Cernowski Park, 840 acres up in the mountains above Carbondale. Like, is that available to get dumped? I mean, I saw you guys are going to put more money into it. I see that as like, we got 220,000 residents in the county. I think you got to start looking at what expenses should we focus on that's going to work for the majority of the residents, not just a couple, maybe 1,000 people that head up there. And even the 1,000 people that head up there, if they want to bitch about it, just say, hey, this Lackawanna State Park is right down the road. Same facilities, lake, even has a pool, trails, and it even has camping. So you could justify we're getting rid of it because we got a better facility closer to downtown Scranton, right down the road. The other things I looked at is like, I mean, arts and culture, $1 million we're spending on arts and culture. That's fine if you have the money. Like when you're home, like, what do you spend money on first? A picture on the wall or repairing the roof? I mean, now that we don't have the money, you got to cut out the arts and culture. And the other one is, does the county really need 9 libraries? It's the 21st century.
Yes.
I was at this assessment meeting at Riverside. Riverside High School got rid of their the library. They got rid of it out of the school. I don't see, I think, I mean, Bradford County was just on the news the other day. They dissolved their library board, somehow made it into a nonprofit organization or something. I didn't understand exactly, but they made an effort to get rid of their library system. So, I mean, like I said, these are just ideas of mine. I don't know if they warrant consideration, but to just keep hammering people with tax increases without any suggestions on how you can make substantial expense reductions is, I mean, maybe it would go over better if you showed that. Because the one thing you did say, you got rid of the 90 unfunded positions. When you get rid of 90 unfunded positions, was money spent on them last year? Because no one was sitting in those positions. So there was no salaries and bennies paid to those people. So you really didn't pay $7.7 million last year and you're saving it this year. That's just going away. Am I correct on that?
Well, the money was budgeted.
It was budgeted,
So
but it
that
wasn't
money,
spent.
right, but that money then is not there in the next budget.
Right, so is that considered
those-
like, is that a reduced expense?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, all right, thanks a lot.
Thank
Just
you
like
very
I said,
much.
if I'd like some consideration given to some kind of expense reduction.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Commissioners, Bob Ball of Scranton. Just listening to the gentleman there are many ways the city could make, or the county could make money. One's by building on these vacant lots and areas, the acreage is flex buildings. Look around at Miracle and all the other ones that are making millions and millions of dollars in developing for businesses to come in out of the area. It's a cash cow out there. And you have all the way with grants and everywhere else to go ahead and build these flex buildings and help reduce the tax base here, which would be an open door for us to look at doing. And the most important thing is increasing the tax base and decreasing the tax rate, something this county's never done and should do. And the gentleman was right on what he was talking about, and the lady that was here before. We squander a lot of money here in a lot of foolish ways that could save us as taxpayers. And I was going back through my files the other day and found out that I had filed an action against the reassessment when they were gonna do it the last time. And I'm going to revise it and challenge the tax assessment, which needs to be done because it's not done properly. And putting that all to the side, the other part I want to bring up, Mr. Gaughan, is the fact of the attack that you have made and continue to make against the Democrat Party. We're spending our money to defend your accusations to the Democrat Party for the way they do things. Many, many years ago, and I want to bite my tongue, I used to be a Democrat. Thank God I'm a Republican today, from what I'm seeing. But watching what's going on with the Democrat Party and the process that's always been there, and it was acceptable by everybody that ran. Yet you now turn around and don't like what they're doing because you want a little lapdog sitting in that seat there that's going to follow your will. You did it in the city council. You did it as the president. And unfortunately, that's why I put your face on the body of a skunk, as you're well aware of, because you skunked us in the city of Scranton. Naog Park, Biden Street, and I could go on and on and on. You're trying to do that to us now. Why don't you sit back? You have a commissioner over there. You had a commissioner over there, and I'm sure he left for a good reason, because he didn't like what he saw. Why don't you just sit back and let the system do what it's doing? That's what appointed you. It's what governed the Democrat Party here in Lackawanna County. Yet you're turning your back on it, and you want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in our taxpayer money to defend your allegations against the Democrat Party. And I don't understand it. You're a Democrat. You're part of the party. Why do you think they're incompetent in their decision-making and the process they do it? Or challenging the judicial that we have here and them making a decision because you don't like it. You don't have somebody sitting in that seat that's going to do your bidding, your wishes, your will. Why aren't you just here neutral? Who's ever sitting in that seat, who's sitting in this seat, the other commissioner, you're a unified body, no matter whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. Yet you don't want that. You want it just Bill Gaughan's way, and that's the only way. And I think it's wrong. I didn't come here to insult you. I came here to ask you, as a resident, you already started the tax process with the Tax Claim Bureau on me, and that's fine. They're
Not true.
gonna see
That is,
what they're
oh, wait a minute. That's not
No,
true.
no, you already inquired.
That's not
I
true.
already talked to them.
That
But
is,
it's
just for the
it's-
record, what he just said, he's insinuating that I would sig the Tax Claim Bureau on him. For the record, that is not factual.
Okay, I'll
It
make
is
the
not
record
true.
straight. You inquired.
Absolutely not.
The wrong guy who talked to him, but I'm not here to debate that because
Okay.
I'm dealing with it the way I need to. What we need to do now is deal with you and the attitude, and I think if you want this challenged, you should be paying out of your own pocket. Not us paying, which we're against, what you're trying to do. You should be paying it out of your own pocket.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Would anyone else like to address the board?
Joan Hodel, 1 at Scranton. I apologize for getting here late. At 10 o'clock, I have the Police Pension Commission up at City Hall. So what I might be asking might have been covered, so just bear with me. Have you set a date for the public hearing on the audit?
Yes, it will be Friday, March 28th, I think. Let me see.
Okay.
Yeah, Friday, March 28th at 10:30
Here?
here.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I would like to, I guess it's Mr. Bolzoni and his staff did a very fine job on the MD&A, the Management Discussion and Analysis, very clearly written and addressed the major issues for 2023. So I was happy to see that. My other question is, what is the status of the digital budget book?
We are slowly but surely inching closer. It's
Okay.
pretty much done. There's just some issues with some of the numbers and the way they were transferred into this new program. So we don't want to put information out that's not accurate, but the narratives, everything else is finished.
It will be ready well before the presentation of the 2026 budget,
Well before.
so
yes.
that we can drill down into, various positions, who is getting paid for what,
Yes.
that kind of thing,
Correct.
because it was very misleading, you would see, supplies, like a 7-figure number, and you need to have the level of detail like you had on the Scranton budget.
Correct.
And so I'm hoping that's what we'll be able to see.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board? Commissioners, other business? Commissioner Chermak?
Well, first, I want to thank everybody for their comments. I do have a couple things that that I've been working on that's prepared. And secondly, I want to thank our service members for your service and for being here today. On the reassessment, everybody knows that I did not vote for that, and I was against that. And I was against the reassessment from the very beginning. This was initiated right in the middle of a pandemic. Arguably the worst timing possible. Now, after a massive tax increase that is already crippling many of our residents, they are being hit with yet another potential increase to property taxes. To me, that is unacceptable. I will be steadfast in my opposition in initiating the final phase of this reassessment. People in our community are struggling financially, and now is absolutely not the time to burden them further. I understand it's been over 50 years since the last reassessment, but that does not mean this process was handled correctly, nor does it mean we have no other alternatives. One of the biggest failures in this reassessment is the lack of safeguards for the elderly and those on fixed incomes. Before we even consider moving forward, those protections must be put in place. It is irresponsible to move ahead with ensuring that our most vulnerable residents are not forced out of their homes due to skyrocketing property taxes. Beyond this immediate issue, we need to rethink how we fund local government altogether. Property taxes place an unfair burden on homeowners while others contribute little or to nothing. We should be looking at alternatives, such as increasing sales tax to offset and eventually eliminate property taxes. A modest increase in state or county sales tax would be a fair way to fund the government. Those who spend more would contribute more, while those on fixed incomes who generally spend less would be protected. Non-residents making purchases in our county would also contribute, easing the financial load on taxpayers. Lackawanna County is one of 11 third-class counties in Pennsylvania. And there's no reason why we can't all come together, all 11 of us third-class counties, and petition the state for the ability to implement a sales tax increase dedicated to reducing or eliminating property taxes. We simply cannot continue funding government on the backs of the property owners. I stand firmly against this reassessment and will fight to ensure our residents aren't burdened even more with financial hardship. It's time for real solutions, not just more tax increases. That's my opinion of the reassessment. The other issue that's all over is what's been going on the last couple days. And I do have a few comments on that. Regarding the ongoing process to name the successor to the former Commissioner Matt McGloin, since Commissioner Gaughan on Monday initiated litigation regarding this process, I will keep my comments general in nature. First, I will say that I have the utmost trust and confidence in the judges of Lackawanna County and their ability to guide this selection process to a just and legal conclusion. Second, I look forward to working with the court selection for commissioner, regardless who they are or their party affiliation. I will work with anyone who is willing to work together to solve many of the problems that face the citizens here in Lackawanna County. However, I will not stand idly by while Commissioner Gaughan uses taxpayer money to further his own political agenda. First, he held a press conference in this very conference room during business hours employing county assets and personnel in order to introduce his choice to succeed Matt McGloin. And now without authorization from the Board of Commissioners, filed a lawsuit on behalf of Lackawanna County, again using resources of the county, assets, and personnel to further the political agenda. To me, this is clearly improper use of taxpayer money, and I think it should be investigated. That's my comments on that issue. Other than that, thank you for coming.
Thank you. So I'd like our solicitor, Don Frederickson, to respond whether or not we need to be investigated, which I don't think that is true at all. But if you can go through the facts of what's happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I was approached about this issue. The problem we have, and why it's a matter of county interest, we have two competing sections out there as to replacing Commissioner McGloin. We have the county home rule charter, which specifies one way of doing it, and we have a code of judicial conduct, which specifies a whole separate method of finding a replacement for Commissioner McGloin. The last time we had to replace a commissioner, back in 2015, when Commissioner O'Brien resigned, we went under the home rule charter because that provision of the judicial code didn't exist at that time. It wasn't adopted by the Supreme Court until 2019. So today, we now have the home rule charter, which says you do A. We have the judicial code, which says you do B. The nightmare scenario that I was thinking of is, let's say we proceed under A, the home rule charter, and we go ahead and the court makes an appointment. And somebody brings a challenge who maybe wanted to apply under the judicial code, which allows for the public to apply. And a year from now, we get a court ruling that says, yeah, you should have went under the code instead of the charter. So now we have a faulty appointment. We have a year worth of votes which are called into question. And where does that leave us? That leaves us in a bigger pickle than we're in now. I think prudence is to allow the court to tell us at this point which is the right way to proceed. I think we do it, in my opinion, it should be done early, it should be done now so that we know what we're doing. The appointment is made properly the first time out, and we don't have to worry about, a year or two down the road, the appointment being called into question. So that's how we got to where we're at this point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner, if I may
Yes.
respond to my learned colleague's comments. If I may respond to my learned colleague's comments, with no personal animus towards Donnie or anybody in this room, a lawsuit was begun on behalf of Lackawanna County through the filing of a petition which, Commissioner Gaughan, you joined in. That was never approved by the Board of Commissioners. Lawsuits.
Doesn't have to be.
Well, I disagree with that, but again, that's something that maybe will get ironed out in the courts. There was never an executive session to discuss any litigation. There was never a work session of the commissioners to discuss this. This was apparently a unilateral decision made by you, Commissioner Gaughan, without consulting Commissioner Chermak, who's the only other sitting commissioner.
Don?
So regardless of the merits of Section 1908 or the Home Rule Charter or the county code, the true issue is why should county funds be employed and county personnel and county assets to further a litigation that the county has no standing to bring, nor was it approved through the legal process of a vote by the Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, PJ. In response to that, PJ, the county code, the state county code, not the home rule charter, allows for the county solicitor to commence and prosecute litigation when it's in the interest of the county. And again, because of these conflicting provisions of the code and the home rule charter, we felt that it's in the best interest of the county to get this resolved before.
Well, let me interject, even though I'm not an attorney. The use of county funds and spending county taxpayer dollars is a decision made by the majority commissioners. That's my opinion.
Donnie, with all due respect again, and you and I have been good friends, and I hope we'll continue to be good friends, the section that you're citing regarding what you allege to be authority to take action is really just the job description of a solicitor. There's nothing in that section, and I reviewed it yesterday. It does not authorize you to take unilateral action on behalf of the County of Lackawanna with regard to litigation on behalf of the county without the approval of the majority of the Board of Commissioners.
We'll have to disagree on that one, PJ, but we're still friends. That's not the way I read it. I read it differently, of course. But as for spending taxpayer dollars on this, it's really not going to cost us any additional taxpayer dollars because The firm Myers, Breyer, and Kelly has been under contract with the county for over a year. They receive a monthly stipend to represent the county in various matters, so.
Thank you. The only thing I'll say on this is not.
Commissioner, if I may, Attorney Frederickson and I spoke before the meeting, and, you know, talked about how if this came up, whether or not the taxpayers would be paying with county funds regarding litigation. So I just wanted to make it, get clarification from Attorney Frederickson. So should the county be, receive an invoice for litigation from Myers, Breyer, and Kelly at the Controller's office regarding this matter, just wondering, should I be not approving that litigation invoice?
Yeah, Gary, what I'm going to say is you should not be receiving a bill for litigation. We pay them a monthly stipend under the contract we already have in place. So that will continue in place, but we should not be receiving separate bills for litigation, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So as far as the monthly fee goes, we would continue to pay that. Outside of that, for any litigation cost, we won't be approving anything at the Controller's office.
If any additional litigation bills are received, they would have to be approved by the Board of Commissioners.
Great. Now, let me.
I'm not expecting that, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And let me.
The professional rules of conduct, I believe it would be incumbent upon Myers, Breyer, and Kelly as outside counsel to provide the county with an engagement letter with regard to this specific litigation in order for them to bill the county or receive funds. Yesterday, I sent a letter on behalf of Commissioner Chermak to Attorney Breyer at Myers, Breyer, and Kelly, directing him that if his firm incurs any bills with regard to the filing of this petition or the litigation over the replacement for Commissioner McGloin, that Commissioner Chermak would not authorize the payment of those funds. So unless the new commissioner comes in and that new commissioner and Commissioner Gaughan authorize it, there will not be a vote of a majority vote of the Board of Commissioners to authorize payments to the firm of Myers, Breyer, and Kelly.
With regard to the litigation, are you talking about, PJ? Because, as we said, we are under contract with them.
I understand that. I am not privy to the contract. I don't know if Commissioner Chermak is, but any representation requires a retainer agreement, a fee agreement, an engagement letter, and unless the engagement letter specifically, the engagement letter entered into some time ago, specifically references litigation with regard to the replacement of Commissioner McGloin, I don't believe any payments to Meyer, Breyer, and Kelly for that is permissible.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. A couple of things. I won't say much on this because it's pending litigation, but let me just say this. This is not to further a political agenda. I have no political agenda, and I never have had a political agenda. You know what this is to further? Transparency and honesty. Transparency and honesty, and how anyone would not want to sign on to that, I think that tells you a lot about the person. The second thing is, oh, I didn't know I had so many fans. Thank you. Reassessment. A few things about reassessment. First of all, Pat Tobin has done a phenomenal job as the director of our assessment office, and has done a phenomenal job in being transparent with the public on this entire process. Let me just remind everyone that there have been public meetings in which questions have been able to have been asked in Riverside High School, North Pocono Middle School, Abington Heights Middle School, Carbondale Area High School, Mid-Valley, Scranton High School, Lakeland, and Dunmore. And Mr. Tobin and his staff, along with Tyler Technologies, has answered every question. Everything is on our website about the process, and it is transparent. So the idea of if there's additional questions, certainly we'll answer them. But the idea that there's some conspiracy out here and that we're doing things under the cover of darkness could not be further from the truth. In regards to Commissioner Chermak's comments on reassessment, look, it's easy to be against everything. it's easy to say, no, I don't want to do that, because he's in a position as the minority commissioner when Commissioner McGloin was here, where he could say no. He could say no to the tax increase. He could say no to reassessment. Here's a news flash to everybody. Reassessment was going to happen no matter what anybody did and no matter what commissioner sat here, because the county was being sued, and there is case law that showed that the county would lose, and the courts would force the county to do a reassessment. So the idea that someone could be against this and try to stop it or say no to it is absolutely ludicrous. It is absolutely ludicrous. So what he's telling you is not true. He could be against it, but it doesn't matter who's sitting up here because it was going to happen regardless of what commissioners were up here. So that's number one. Number two, the gentleman who I respect who got up here and talked about the PFM report. That report is on our website for all of the public in Lackawanna County to review, and I appreciate that you went through it and that you read it. That report, and the reason why we entered into the Strategic Management Planning Program last year, was to try to fix the very issues that that gentleman got up and started to talk about. When I first got here last year, it was clear to anybody with a brain that we had major league issues, major league operational and financial issues. So what do? Continue to do what the last couple administrations did, which was just sit here and not talk about it? I immediately, the first or second meeting I was here, I informed everybody in the public about what was going on. Hey, we're in really bad shape here. We're in bad shape. What are we going to do? Should we sweep it under the rug like everybody else did and not say anything? Or should we come out and be public about it? And yes, in terms of politics, I know I took a big hit because I had to raise taxes 33% along with Commissioner McGloin. But if you want to know the truth of the matter, I didn't have a choice because this county had been run into the ground so badly and mismanaged, and the can was kicked down the road so far, there was no road left. So yeah, I had to make the difficult and the tough decisions. And I do it again in a heartbeat because it was the right thing to do. It was a difficult thing to do. And as I've said here before, I have 2 parents who are senior citizens, I have 5 children, and my wife works part-time on the weekends. I get it. My taxes went up too, and it hurt. And it bothered me that I had to do that. But I didn't have a choice. And what I'm trying to do now is to run this county like it should have always been run. Like it should have always been run. Financially prudent. Looking at every single line item. That's what we did. We took a deficit that started out at about $37 million. And oh, by the way, the moment I got in office, there was almost $19 million in unpaid bills. And I had vendors calling my phone off the hook. Why aren't we getting paid? Well, we've started to take care of that problem. You know what this is? This is leadership. And leadership is telling you the truth, not sitting here and saying, oh, I'm against that. I'm against. Well, it's easy to be against everything. I mean, if I was a real politician, I would say I'm against raising taxes. But I have to be the grown-up and the adult in the room. Someone has to do it so that we can actually turn this county around financially and start to do things the right way. And that's what I'm doing. So, and that is the truth. And if you want the truth, just ask me. I'll tell you. Now, on to other matters. We had a meeting with Senator Fetterman's office about Amtrak and about the train. I had that meeting with Larry Malsky, who is the president of the Northeast Regional Railroad Authority, and I'd like everyone to know that we are working very hard to make sure that that train project from Scranton to New York City is still on track and not getting derailed, unfortunately, by the chaos that's being caused by the Trump administration. Priority-based budgeting training has started with the departments. There's another example of trying to do things in a different way. Priority-based budgeting is an initiative that we started last year, and all of our department directors are going to be trained on it, and it's looking at the budget not in terms of zero-based budgeting, but now in a different way. Other counties have done it, and it's been successful. I attended the swearing-in of President Judge Gibbons, and I just want to congratulate him. It was a really wonderful ceremony. It was an honor for me to be there. He obviously is a great person and an accomplished jurist, and it was wonderful to see him get sworn in. And of course, I want to extend my well wishes to former President Judge Trish Corbett for her dedication, her years of service to our county judicial system. As I told Ms. Hodawanitz when she asked me before, Friday, March 28th at 10:30, we will have a presentation of the 2023 audit, an exit conference. I'm not sure if this has ever been done before publicly in the county's history. I could be wrong on that. But this is another effort and another example of being transparent and honest. So we're going to have the auditors come in and present the 2023 audit in this room publicly, and we'll ask them questions, and they'll present it on the screens here, and it's all public, it's all on the website. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second, on the question, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.